Transparency in Senegal and Uganda mocks Nigeria. Majority of our leaders act like aliens in their scramble for Nigeria. They inspire each other with their uncommon craving for everything, including things they already have and will not need. They are greedy. They are not greedy. Their conduct is vastly worse than greed, for it harbors an unquenchable desire for more at the expense of everything. Nothing is sacred, nothing is sacrosanct. They appropriate the law. They will coddle lawlessness if it is the path to their framed unimportance. Then they brag about it. Their motto appears to be grab as much as they can before the party is over or ahead of one of their members. They do not believe in Nigeria. The war scrambled and the scramble for Africa is on. If you understand it, you will not find anything strange about the conduct of those who lead the scramble. They care about the mission. We are wrong to accuse them of not caring about Nigeria. They do. We see Nigeria differently. We care differently. The fundamental mandate of government in Nigeria, it seems, is to erect unbearable standards of suffering for the people. The competition is outdo each other in this sphere is high, intense, incredible, and certainly crass. It is slightly matched by the scramble for Nigerian resources, while at least they brag despite us. Their ostentatious living at our expense is an exhibition of their firm belief that there is nothing you can do about it. How right they are! The hunger in the land has elevated the ability to cater for one's family to a major achievement. We have no rooms left to think about the ploys of government. They have made it clear from the beginning that they are for themselves. A political philosophy that officially admits that selfishness is legitimate remains the president's top shot at transparency. The ECOWAS president was happy. He congratulated the 44-year-old Senegalese Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who assumed office 10 days after the presidential election of 24 March 2024. No courting decision, no votes were lost in the clouds, though the cost of conducting the election could be a fraction of what INEC splashed on computers that only glitched once it was time to transmit results of Nigeria's presidential election. Faye had been detained for spreading false news, contempt of court, and defamation of a constituted body following a social media post he made. A court ruling released him and made possible his participation in the election that he won with 54%, leaning on the support of his ally Ousmane Sonko, who has announced Sonko as Prime Minister. According to his asset declaration, Faye released during his campaign, Faye trained in law, estate management, tax inspection. He has a house in Dakar, as well as land outside the capital and in Dingiano, his village, and about $6,600 total in his bank account. He has 2 wives he brought to the inauguration. He has 4 children. He told us one of his wives has no child yet. It is public knowledge. The schools he went to are known. His age, certificate, name, village, career, records are all verifiable. He has started implementing his program that will hit hard on corruption, create jobs, promote economic growth and transparency. Senegal handled the simple matter of conducting an election excellently. He did not empty divisions of his armies on the streets to intimidate voters, though thousands died in riots to throw out Macky Sall's government that was attempting a 3rd term. The opposition was not run out of chances by the INEC chairman. There was no need for helicopters, sophisticated gunboats, and deployment of thousands of policemen to watch the election rigged. The computer did not refuse to upload certain results. Waste of money at election is an extension of the specialized businesses of our politics. The beneficiaries line up their own cut of the deal, unbothered about how a few billion naira padded to cost of election should deny anyone sleep. Trust the president to mention transparency in his speeches. His asset declaration, if made, is not even public. He reminds us that he's an economist right in the middle of economic challenges that are tackled with applauses if the value of the naira makes the most minuscule gain. The economist, as the president saw, The economists in the president saw him triple the cost of electricity without knowing the industry will pass the burden to consumers of their products. Uganda has a different meaning for transparency. Its president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaboa, 78, has been in office for 38 years and may stand for election again in 2026. His 50 years old son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba Museveni, who heads Uganda Armed Forces, is the top contender against his father. He was a minister and an advisor to his father. He was a minister and advisor to his father. One of his brothers-in-law is also in the presidential race. His sister, Natasha Kurige, 48, a University of London trained fashion designer and consultant, last week in the Fool's Day prank was announced as the new governor of the Central Bank of Uganda. She's a private secretary to the President of Uganda, his father, for household affairs. Patience Rabogo, 46, pastor of Covenant Nations Church, another Museveni, seen not to hold any formal position in government. Her sister, Diane Komatu, 44, formally and absolutely renounced and abandoned the use of the name Komatu and assume and adopt in place of the name Kaimara in 2022, making her divorce with Komatu. Honorable Ibrahim Samuju Nganda, a former journalist, now a parliamentarian, is more gracious in his praise of the sacrificed President Museveni, whose transparency should be applauded. Mix. The president has sacrificed his family for Uganda, he said in a video that makes rounds of the social media before listing Museveni, who by birth and marriage held top government position. Ugandans accept that anything can happen with Museveni. His 67-year-old wife, Janet, and mother of the 4 listed children, is a 2-time minister. Questions about her education have not stopped her from being Minister of Education and Sports since June 2016. She was Minister for Karamoja Affairs for 7 years and First Lady for 38 years. Longevity runs with the Musevenis. Their marriage is in its 51st year. It is a country about Uganda but looks like a sole proprietorship. Why are the details of Uganda's version of transparency important? A comparison with Nigeria is a waste of time. Granted, that time, the most expensive resource is the cheapest thing in Nigeria. How much of a president do we know? Someone said things cannot happen in Nigeria. Someone said these things cannot happen in Nigeria. If they happen, how would we know? We know the Museveni children and in-laws. Is that level of transparency available to us in Nigeria? How then would we know if the president's son is the governor of the central bank? Would the Senate not approve the president's daughter if nominated as CBN governor? All she would need is to take a bow. If it would inconvenience her, she could have read fashion designing like Museveni's daughter or nothing. Her certificates could be muddled up or missing. This would not count. We can laugh at Uganda or Senegal, but the real joke is on us. Big as we are, we cannot count ourselves. We cannot feed ourselves. We cannot contribute anything meaningful to improve the conditions of our people, and it is such a shame. Alright, on this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.